Hey, witches.
Hello, welcome back to another episode, actually the finale episode of Onyx Storm. Lillian Marie, what are you doing? You'll see her run away. There she goes. Ugh, I swear to God. Okay, anyways, last episode where we left off where Sloane essentially became a like a conduit basically of power for Brennan to save Mira. And yeah, so we're on chapter 60 now.
Yeah.
And Violet is back at it again with the dumb ass decisions.
Yeah. I get it though. Like, she's already lost a lot, and the idea of losing her sister too is too much.
Yeah,
So,
I have like a. This is more for at the end of the entire book kind of thing. But I do have. I'm going to reference this moment here later on when we're finished with everything. But I tell you, I don't know. I just feel like she's I don't know. I just have a lot to say about this, but it's all at the end of the book.
well, I just basically was like, she's asking a lot from both Garrick and then Taryn.
Yeah, because she asked Taryn to take Tyne. What's her name? What's his name?
I don't know. I always call him Teeny in my head. I know that's not it, but that's what I call him.
Tyne, maybe. I don't know. I remember we looked it up, but I don't remember specifically how to pronounce it. And I feel like I would butcher it, and I really don't want to do that. So
Tyne works.
Tyne, yeah. So basically, Taryn takes Tyne up the mountain.
Because he's still unconscious.
And he's the strongest out of the dragons available. But
and then Theophany comes back.
yeah, and the only problem with him going off to do this to save her sister is that it leaves her without power because he's flying so far away.
Yeah. And she can't get off the ground if Theophany comes back and starts channeling.
It was a risk. I think she had the right idea to where Theophany wouldn't fuck around like that. Because I think Theophany wants her to join them.
Yeah. I agree. But then we learn that Theophany is not the balance for Violet. She is not a lightning wielder. She is a storm wielder. So she is the balance for Lilith.
And Lilith made a comment about, like, she will never forgive you for this or whatever. And I don't know who she's talking about. And I actually think she's talking about maybe not Violet, give or take, because why would Violet be given as an, like, not an offering, but like given to Dune and not, and obviously like they take it back. Why would Violet have a say in any of that as a baby? Like, she shouldn't, she wouldn't, all of that. I think this is kind of where the argument comes from, where the grandmother who is not involved in their life, so like Asher's mother, where she got upset, where she gets upset. And like the she's talking, Lilith is talking about is actually Asher's mother. And that's kind of what started the whole argument and fights. Because they did this in an attempt to stop Theophany for some fucking reason, because Lilith couldn't do it. And this was her way of doing it. Probably because she can't ever go back into a Dune temple.
Maybe.
And that it like helps protect her. Which is why she was able to take the dagger or whatever from the Dunes temple. But so I think the grandma is, or grandmother or whatever, is not happy with Asher, and that's what started the whole family fight.
That would make sense.
What doesn't make sense is why would Asher push for Violet to go into the wrong quadrant, to actually like did he like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, all right, go over here, go be a scribe, like,
I don't know.
that's the only thing that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know.
Hopefully we learn about that in recovered correspondences in the next book.
All right. And then, so at the end of this chapter, the last thing I said about this chapter was at the very end, Violet's like talking back and forth with Theophany, and Theophany's like, you're not the solution to every problem. You're just another lightning wielder. You're incapable of being everywhere at once. Go ahead. It will be entertaining to watch you try. And she's like, you're right. I can't be everywhere. I don't have to be. And then in her head, she's like, when push comes to shove, I'm not the best of us. She is. I was like, who the fuck? Who is she talking about? Ree?
Maybe.
Well, and then
I honestly thought she was talking about I don't know, to be honest. I thought she was talking about Theophany.
Right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I feel like she's talking about Ree, especially considering that the next chapter, like, that's the end of chapter 60. And chapter 61 is from Rhiannon's point of view. So I feel like she was talking about her.
Well, she did say, like, I glanced south just long enough to witness the horde go up beyond the valley.
Yeah.
And then she leans into it when she's like, what?
Yeah.
Because that's the pass, right? That's where the pass starts, is in the south.
I think so.
Because where they're at, Dreyfus? Or are they at Orisha?
I'm not going to lie. It's been a hot minute since I read this, and my memory is shit today.
They're at Orisha. That's right. They're at Orisha. And Rhiannon goes down to the Madaro Pass. And that's why because she's like, how can I protect the pass when we're down 3 of our most powerful battle-hardened squad masters, but failure isn't an option. So they're at Orisha because that's when like the ward, like, isn't that when the wards go up? Or am I getting two big major things mixed up? And Darna's gone, right?
Yeah, the words have already gone up.
What the fuck is she talking about then? The South? Where are we?
We are going to Rhiannon at the pass. She is at the Madaro Pass. Because the civilians are trying to get through into Orisha.
Right, and so that's what she's talking about. Dune be with him. I look away and find Theophany staring at me.
Yeah. So at the beginning of chapter...
I guess I just don't know where they're at. Like, where's this temple at?
Are they at a temple now?
Are they at the... See, there's just so much going on in the end of this book.
Like, they went to meet Theophany.
Yeah, I thought Theophany was, like, near a temple somewhere.
I don't know.
Or are they just, like, in, like, a grassy field kind of thing?
Yeah. I think so. I think they're in the middle of, like, nowhere.
Okay. Because the problem is that we bounce.
Yeah, it's confusing. The end of the book, a lot happens, and it's a lot of perspectives.
Because, like, 1 minute you're in Marisha, 1 minute you're not, and then the next you're at the pass, and then you're at a different location.
Cliffs of Draylor.
Oh, okay.
That's where they are. And then Rhiannon is at the Madaro Pass.
Okay. That's why she looks south.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now that we're back on track.
Yeah.
With Rhiannon now.
Yes.
And she is doubting herself. She's a squad leader. Not that she, like, needs to be confident, like, all the time, but she needs to fake it, especially in battle. Because when you're not confident in battle, like, that's when you fuck up. But I do, not that I like this chapter for anything specific, like, battle-wise, but I do like it because we get to see a little bit of like, the conversation between Rhiannon and her dragon Fearg, because you don't get to see that. You always see from Terran's point of view. You always hear, like, in Darna, or, like, a little bit from Sagail. Like, you don't hear anybody else. And I really enjoyed getting to know Atram with Riddick. So I was kind of excited to hear a little bit about Rhiannon and her point of view with Fearg.
Yeah. But we also, like, are all dragons sarcastic assholes? Like,
I said the same thing. I was like, why are all dragons sarcastic? Like, is it just, like, an age thing? Is it a specific thing, or what?
I don't know.
But, like, Sagail's a bitch. Taryn's an asshole. Fearg is too. Atram is, like, the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Atram just wants to play jokes on everybody.
Facts.
Same.
Then, so they're fighting, right? And this is just like a big battle scene. Battle scenes are always hard to talk about in episodes because, like, so much happens so fast, but a lot of it is, like, nitty gritty details.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot to talk about, but
and then when you do find something that you have to talk about during the middle of the battle, you have to, like, relay the whole thing, or it's not going to be, like, specific.
Yeah. So while they're fighting against a horde of wyvern, and Riddick just freezes one. Just
Like,
freezes one.
what a beast.
Yeah. Yep. And then
It just
again,
falls out of the sky, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
yeah. And then she basically is like, we're gonna hold this pass. In her head, she's like, we're gonna hold this pass, even in this rain, like, even in all this bullshit, like, we're gonna do this. And she finds her badass bitch, and that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, and Fear's like, are you sure? Like, say it louder for the back. And she's like, positive, let's go.
Yep. And then
And
chapter
then
62.
we back to Violet. And honestly, she actually listens for once in this episode or chapter, which is rare. Let's be real. Violet doesn't listen to shit.
Yeah. But she does break Theophany's nose.
And, you know, honestly, I would have expected Theophany to have a different reaction to that.
Yeah, she's pretty
Not,
pissed off about it. And, like, in a very vain way.
yeah, like, it's not one of those things like, damn it, why'd you hit me? It's one of those like, fuck, that's never gonna straighten out. And it's like,
Yeah.
girl, you're a venom. Can't you just like fix it? Channel from the earth. Damn. You have all this power and you're telling me that you can't fix a broken nose? What kind of power is this? I don't want it. You're almighty.
um what?
Yes.
I don't understand what my notes are about.
What was your notes? And maybe I can help decipher it for you. Probably not, but I'll give it a go.
Okay, I remember.
Great. I'm glad I
So
helped.
um she starts to channel, Theophany does. And uh Theophany's still trying to get Violet to channel, and by doing so, she starts draining the ground. And she's like, the best way to save yourself is to drain the ground before I get there, because then, like, you can't drain magic from the
What's already
ground.
been.
Yeah, that's already been drained.
Do you think. Okay, like, let's say. Okay, let's say I'm Theophany and you're Violet, and I start draining the ground and I'm coming towards you. If Violet jumps over that, like, is that fine? Like, are we just gonna keep playing like jump rope, basically?
I don't know. That's an
Because she's
interesting
like, oh,
question.
I can't pull from the earth that's already been pulled. Okay, well, what if you stay on something that's already been yanked? Like, can you imagine being like Xaden and like Violet being like this all like, hold on, honey, let me get you a spot, and then he just like drains a little bit of power, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna stay right here.
I mean, that would work
Let me pull the
technically.
like. Is that not that I want him to do that, but
right, like, he could technically.
could she just like jump over it, or is it like a wall of magic kind of thing? Like you have to
That's
pass
what I'm
through it.
imagining. Like, it's like a wall, but that
I'm
doesn't really
thinking,
make sense either.
yeah. Bless the motherfuck out of you.
Anyway, she runs with that Theophany basically gives her the answer, and she's like, "Oh, something that's already drained, or something that already doesn't have magic. Let me go hop on this dead wyvern."
Which is so smart. Good for her. Proud. She
Yes,
actually listens for once.
right. And then, she Theophany's like, "No," and Violet sees the curve of talons and throws her arms out and is like tearing in her head, and she gets not quite, and she's like, "Sigale?" And then she says, "You are an inconvenience for which there is no adequate measurement, but you have done an excellent job keeping the maven occupied." And I just thought that was fucking funny.
Which is why I'm leaving you. Well, and then like the next page, she's like, "What the fuck? You can't leave him."
Yeah.
And
About
she's like,
Zayden.
"Yeah, that's why I'm dropping you off. She's
Yeah.
all yours."
And then she just drops her in the middle of the sky.
And he's like, "I told you to stay on the field, but in this case, I'm glad you did not listen." And she's like, "Well, I didn't really have a say in the matter, so Gail did, but thank you."
Yep.
But yeah. And this is where we find out that Mira lives, and they're both resting. And Theophany's like, "Fuck, I'm losing. I gotta go." And then she runs away to the south.
She sure fucking does. Yeah. But then they chase her though, right?
Yes. Because it's like we kill those in our way and we pursue their storm wielder. And that's when they're like, "Oh, I only have one dagger left." And he's like, "All right, well, don't fucking lose it. I'll take care of it."
Yep. And at chapter 63 now we are at Drathis. And we are with Imogen. And I think,
I'm not gonna lie, this is where I fucking bawled my eyes out.
so the blurb on this chapter, is that Imogen's mom?
Yeah. Imogen Cardulo.
Okay.
Her and her sister died.
And I'm guessing these last words are to Lilith. But she says, "Fuck you. My daughter and I will meet Malik with clean consciences. Will you and your daughters be able to say the same when they come for you?" And I feel like Lilith, no. Maybe even Mira, no. But Violet has been doing a pretty good job of keeping her conscience clear. I mean, she would probably disagree because she's got a lot of guilt about different things, but
I feel like Mira would say that she has a clean conscience based on what she's been given. I feel like Mira would find that loophole. And Lilith would be like, "Yeah, I did it to protect my kids. Fuck you." And that's kind of how she would do it. But listen, just like I said in chapter 59 in the last episode, one person must die if another survives. And my heart was not ready for this chapter.
Well,
because it fucking happened. So basically, Imogen is talking to her dragon, and like she's trying to get like where she needs to be to like help protect Drathus and all those around. And not only is Ghislaine a sarcastic dick, he rivals Taryn. um because she's like, all right, get me on the wall now, and then she like it's supposed to be safe where she's landing. And what the fuck is that? That was a mosquito. Listen, mosquitoes have been eating my ass alive, and I'm not a fan. That's why I have these two giant marks on my face that I tried covering up with pimple patches. It made it worse. Okay. So and I say that they rival Taryn because she was supposed to be safe. It's not safe. And Ghislaine was like, your death would annoy me. Bitch, your death would kill you, right? Like, her death would kill him.
not necessarily.
True.
It
It
depends
would hurt like
on
a bitch, that's for
how,
sure.
yeah.
But she's there because she's supposed to like kind of help get people out, like kind of help cover them as they are trying to get people um hi Scar out on the out of the city. And she's also kind of looking for Quinn because Quinn's there. She has no idea where she's at. She sees Quinn, or like a version of Quinn,
Right.
and she's like, oh, perfect, she's not here, she's somewhere else. So she goes down south. She goes down like down from the turret tower thing and goes all the way down south, down the stairs, and finds the real Quinn fighting for her life against a Venom. Um so yeah. Um and when she goes down to help Quinn, the Venom slams a dagger in between in her side, dangerously close to her heart, essentially in between her ribs. Um, and Imogen has a very, very sad moment with Quinn. She's begging Quinn not to let go. Quinn's just like, did they make it? Please tell me they made it. And she's like, I'm sorry. There's no helping me. And she goes, there's no menders here and no runes for this. This is one thing you can't fix, Jen. I need you to tell Jax that I love her. So like Jax and Quinn were dating. And she's like, Imogen says, no, you tell her you're going to graduate in a couple of months and then you'll marry her in that pretty black dress you picked out and you're going to be happy. And she goes, no, tell her she's been the best part of my life. You don't count Kruth because apparently her dragon popped out of nowhere. And she's like, no, you became my life. Please, Jen, she's with the officers in the South and I won't. And then she goes, okay, I'll tell her. And then she tells Imogen to say, like, tell my parents it was worth it. I'm glad it's you and me. Parapet to Malik's own doorstep. I'm so sorry I have to go first this time. And you should tell him, Jen. Tell him, and you find some happy. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, who is she talking about? Of course, it's Garrick.
Yeah.
Which brings something else up later on.
Yeah, but just like going back a page.
No.
Imogen's signet is memory changing, right?
See, I was gonna bring that up a little later because I thought I don't know what she is, to be honest.
She can change people's memories or like plant memories. I was like 99% sure that was her signet. But on page 507, she fucking turns a shield to stone.
Oh yeah, that's her secondary signet.
Right. But like, did
I
we know
forgot about
that?
that to me. No. That's when we
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah. And because Dane is like, we're going to talk about whatever the fuck that was later. And then we go through all the really sad stuff with Quinn.
She's able to erase recent memories.
Yeah.
And some believe her second signet, not confirmed, is related to earth or rock wielding.
Right, because she just turned a shield into stone.
Mm-hmm. Well, and apparently, according to some viewers, because here's the thing. It's so we learn in Onyx Storm that Imogen's second signet is Earth Rock wielding, and in Fourth Wing we learn she can wipe memories. What this doesn't answer is when Imogen and Violet first fight, Imogen gets in trouble for using her signet during a sparring match. So what signet did she use that she got yelled at?
Oh. It's a good question.
Oh, she was yelled at for using her powers on the mat.
So like lesser magics, I would
lesser
assume.
magic.
Yeah.
It's how she overtakes Dane on the wall outside the turret towards the end of OS2. What?
But then Garrick shows up and helps her get Quinn and takes them back to Risha?
Arisha, I think. I don't know.
To Trissa. No, they're not in Arisha. They're with Trissa somewhere. I don't know where they're at.
They're in Drathos, right? Are we talking about Violet?
No, I'm talking about Imogen and Garrick.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, well, because because they find her there. And what's really sad is she's like, my mom will love you and Katrina will too. And she'll be so happy to have a second little sister. And it's like, I fucking hate everyone. Like, this is not fair. But he says that he can't walk anymore. If he is, he's not strong enough to get back, which I'll bring that back up later too. And he's saying that he'd better find some fucking way to do something about it. So he's trying to go be helpful.
Yeah.
Wait, what else does he do?
I don't remember.
Is he wind?
I don't know.
We just don't see a lot about Garrick, and that frustrates me. Don't worry. Air wielding and distance wielding. He should just suffocate the fuck out of him.
Right. Oh my gosh. So then chapter 64. There's like a tornado. Theophany's using a tornado to like bring Vi and Taryn where she wants them to be.
I'm really confused about like why no one thought she was a storm wielder way back when there was a fucking tornado that came out of nowhere. Like, how often do tornadoes happen in storms such as that?
Right. Who knows?
I'd be like, damn, there's always a storm around when she's here.
Unless I don't know. I don't remember that part well enough to really comment. What? Listen, I need to not read ahead, like, because I read this so long ago that I'm confused about some of my notes.
That's what you get.
Because I wrote "Figure It Out" Vi on page 513.
She's killing on 515 or 13?
13.
She killed the storm to make it harder for Violet to wield.
Right, but that's not that doesn't make sense with what I said. I don't know.
You told Violet to figure it out because I think it makes perfect sense.
I don't know. Either way. She then breaks her conduit and is like, I can't aim
that's
with that
probably it. The conduit breaks and she doesn't know how to wield.
Maybe.
Whatever. I don't know.
Surprise. It was a trap. But not really a trap. I don't know. So Taryn is in a net now.
I think honestly she was trying to get she's trying to get Violet to to channel. She's trying to get Violet to
Yeah.
She's using things against her. So like her conduit breaks. All right, well she lessens the storm. And now she has Taryn. She's trying to get her to channel to take the power. Because unbeknownst to like we don't really know this yet. I mean, we kind of do, but like Segale got captured too.
Yeah.
Probably also in an attempt to get him to completely and utterly channel.
Yep. So then she... Wait, what? Oh, she's using the runes that she brought to cut or to soften the net so they can rip it. And then she finds the package that Eric gave her. And it says, for when you lose yours, strike in the dark, Violet. And my question is, what the fuck is Eric's signet? Like, can he see the future?
I thought so too. I legitimately am like, what is he? Is he someone like not an intrinsic, but like somebody who can see the future? Like the outcome of battles. Melgren, where he can see the outcome of battles, but not can he see the future? Which don't we find that out this chapter?
Huh?
Don't we find this out this chapter or next chapter?
I don't remember. I just know that's what I wrote.
I just don't know what's happening because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But yeah, they find out that they have Segale too, and Taryn is pissed. And Theophanie's like playing with her. She's like moving really fast from place to place so Violet can't hit her with
Mm-hmm.
lightning. And she's getting closer to Taryn every time. Um, as he's trying to break out of his fucking net. And she's trying to figure out how to throw Theophany off of her game. And she does it by asking her if she misses Unbriel.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, bitch.
And she's like asking her, like, you had all of this power. How was that not enough? And Theophany says, why serve a god when you could be one?
See, I knew it.
And then Xaden is clearly channeling and makes like the whole fucking world dark.
I know. I was like, all right, well, here we are. He's
Yeah.
full venom now.
And then he said, if you remember, Taryn says use the darkness because Eric's note said strike in the darkness. And then yeah, it is this chapter. She says he's a fucking precog, a real one. Not like Melgren, who can only foresee battles.
He sees the future.
Yeah, he gave me a weapon made of the fractured temple, a temple Theophany cannot step inside. I don't believe in oracles, but I do believe in signets.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We would have been screwed.
And then Darna is back.
For just a brief second.
Yeah. And then Theophany is dead.
Woo!
Violet kills her.
Sometimes I wonder if she's actually dead. I feel like you can't be that much of a dick and then just fucking vanish. But then I
Yeah.
realized, wait, we had Varish and he is gone. That's fine.
Yeah, I do think that she actually is gone. And then she desiccates, so like she is for sure. And then Violet releases the bolt of lightning that she was holding to have the light to find Theophany, basically. And Darna whispers Violet, and then she hears nothing because she's basically burned herself out. Then it's chapter 65. And Xaden's point of view. And it's Xaden and the Sage are like going back and forth, kind of. And he says, he's looking to the new brother, and the unconscious dragon lying in the valley beyond the canyon. And he's like, how could he do this, choose this after watching me stumble and fall over the last 5 months? How could he willingly walk the path I fought like hell to leave? He's the last person I ever would have expected to turn, and yet here we are. And I was certain that it was Dane. Wait, why can't I hear you?
I put it down because the dogs were barking because Will got
okay.
home. But same. I was like, oh fuck. Like
yeah.
the way he was talking about like all self-righteousness, I was thinking that, but then I was like,
well,
wait,
and
no.
all of the rumors and all of the people that were like, by the end of this book, you're gonna like Dane better. I was like, oh my god, Dane just channeled to save Violet or to save Xaden, and now Violet likes him because that's what I thought was happening.
Yeah, I still don't understand that because even now that I finished it, I was like,
I still don't understand that. I still don't like Dane better than Xaden. Not even fucking kind of.
I know someone's like, oh, Dane that. I was like, what?
No,
Where?
absolutely not.
Like, did he get a and a lot of people are like, oh, he got a redemption, and I'm like, where?
Right, like
He got no
when?
more of redemption than Tamlin got a fucking
Right.
redemption. Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
I kind of at first I thought it was Dane, and I was like, wait, Pancheck is there. Pancheck.
Yes,
It's Pancheck.
it is.
Because they said he's a traitorous ass putting himself between Sigale and me. He's the problem.
Yeah. Yep. And
I also don't understand this bond thing. Because he said that he can't raise a blade to them. He can't kill them no more than he can raise a blade to Violet, and not be. It's because of a magical like bond in between them. So I don't understand how. I don't understand this works.
like the bond between the venom.
Yeah, like where he, like here it says. Not even because he's supposed to be dead, but because I can't kill him. I could no more raise a blade to his throat than I could Violet. The bond between violence and me is the kind of magic that has no explanation. The bond between Berwyn and me is the kind that should never exist, and now that my sage has another sibling he can use against me, I'm screwed. And then he says, watch carefully, my initiate, Berwyn says to me over his shoulder, bearing the scar down the middle of his face from when I threw him into the ravine in Vesgaiath. I I I just don't understand that.
It's giving like the sire bond between vampires, but I don't understand how that happens. I feel like we don't know enough about Venom and how they.
Do you think it's because like you know how Theophany was trying so hard to get Violet to change, like by turning her? Like, could it be like you are the cause, like you are the reason why I did this? Like maybe like that balance in magic
Maybe.
feels
It
like
could
the
also
change.
be like the type of signet they have or the type of dragon. Who knows? I feel like we'll find out in the next book probably. But
I'm
I don't
hoping.
know. um
I listen, if we don't find out in the next book and it's going to be like a question mark the entire fucking book, I'm going to be a little pissed. Like,
yeah.
no offense to Xaden, but like, bro, we got to
Mhm.
learn more about the Venom and their relationships and all of that fucking bullshit
Yeah.
than anything else. I feel like that is the only way we're going to start. And fuck him for not saying anything. I can't kill him now that he's got a sibling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You can't say that. Okay, we'll come back to that. Go ahead.
I don't really have anything else for that chapter. Just
Cool. Perfect. Because I'm lost on the Bond thing, and that's really all I had to say about it.
yeah.
All I know is that he is full venom, and that shit pisses me off. Because he, at the very end of it, was. Where the fuck is it? Oh, Sigale struggles to stand up straight ahead of me, blood dripping from the bite marks in her shoulder. The net falls in tatters, and she expands her wings to their full width. All of that. He goes, "Will you forsake me now?" Walking over Berwyn's unconscious body, I'd kill him if I could. Fuck, I thought I had. I wonder how many initiates feel the same about their sage. At least one that I know of, but beyond the physical impossibility of it, he has something I need, and I'm no longer an initiate. Sigale says, "What is there left of you to forsake?" She lowers her head and steam gusts down the canyon, reminding me of the moment she found me in the forest at threshing. He goes, "You tell me." "You cannot mean to. You saw what happened. It is the only way," she responds, "and you think she'll help?" He says, "She loves me." And she's like, "Taryn does not, and you haven't looked in a mirror yet. The red veins branching from your eyes look like her lightning." He goes, "She'll help. She promised." Um, she goes, "Even if she agrees, no one will." And she goes, "Someone owes me a favor. He'll never let you near her, especially while she lies in a vulnerable state." And he freaks and says, "Is she hurt?" She says, "Yes." I
Sorry,
didn't
my
like
headphones
that.
just died.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Did I get really loud or something?
No, I can hear me talk.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how to fix that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fuck. Can you hear me now?
Kind of.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Fuck, I can still hear me. Girl, you better be plugging that shit in.
Hold on.
All right.
There we go.
Perfect.
Now I'm turning it down. Now you're really fucking loud.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Why is it so loud?
Better turn that shit down.
I did turn it down. That's weird.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm still hearing myself, so it's probably not coming through. Hello?
I think it might have also changed my microphone. No, it didn't. The fuck?
Anyways. I'll just keep talking. Glad I turned you down. Turned you off. That shit was loud.
Okay. Is that better? Can you still hear yourself?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Okay, I'm just gonna turn you down to where I can't hear you.
Okay. That works. But then you're not going to hear what I say.
Well, I'll turn you up when I'm done talking, so you gotta hold your breath until then. Okay, anyways. Okay, so he asks, "Is she hurt?" She goes, "Yes, they have completed the wards, but they extend no farther than Dreyfus. But she will survive." He's like, "That's good, bad, fuck. I don't know, what even am I?" And he's like, "Hers." So then he's like, "Persuade Taryn. Everything depends on it." And he goes, "We will ask, and her decision will determine our fate." Those are terms that I can agree to. We're airborne in less than a minute. So then at that point, what the fuck is he requesting? And what is it all based on her thing? Last we know, she's like fucking passed out. So like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you still hear yourself?
A little bit, but not bad.
Okay. I figured something out while you're talking. But anyway.
Perfect. Okay. But yeah. So
Yeah.
he's full venom. He has this kind of tearful whatever conversation with Sigale, and Sigale's like, "Only if she agrees to it."
Yeah. Which we have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah. We just know this is what's going to help. And I'm like, "Oh, help what?"
Yeah. And then the final chapter. Chapter 66. The blurb. It says, while cadets are strongly encouraged not to form romantic attachments while studying in the quadrant, lieutenants are permitted to marry whomever they choose upon graduation.
I wonder what the fuck they did.
Right. And like, what? But like, what does that fix? I don't understand what that helps.
Orisha. But that's what
I know that that makes her the queen of Orisha, but like, what does that fix for him?
nothing.
Like, he's
Where
still
the
fucking Venom.
why can't Bodhi take it?
Uh
Why
huh.
does why does she have to, like, what does this do? Protect her? Protect her from what?
Yeah, I
He
don't know.
fucked up. He did some things that, like, he did whatever. If he's not around, then how the fuck does that do for her? Especially if, like, listen, basically, she wakes up, she's very groggy, whatever. She's been missing for 12 fucking hours, along with everybody else. So Brennan's like, what the fuck? Where have you been? And Andarna is right there. Like, bitch, where have you been? And she's like, I will not let them burn you. Burn you? What the fuck? Is she Venom? I was like, great, she's Venom. She's got some bullshit on her
I thought so
eyes.
too.
Like, she did some bullshit thing to kind of survive, whatever. And then she's like confused, like, why would my brother burn me? And she's like, something's off. I feel groggy. I feel this. And like everyone's happening. And essentially, um, missing eggs. There's been some missing eggs happening. No one knows what the fuck where they went. And then, well, ooh, okay. Say missing eggs and I will remember that later. Okay.
Missing eggs.
Not now, later. So then she's like, well, where's Taryn? Like, blah, blah, blah. And Darna goes, he needs a cycle of rest to recover. Bitch, recover from what? He was fine last I knew.
Right.
What the fuck?
What is
So
happening?
then all of this shit happens, and she looks on her hand. There's a fucking ring on her hand. She's
Mhm.
married. And
She's married.
she's like, where did this come from? What? This carries the seal of Dune. May I open it? Where the fuck is all of this? So she's looking at it. She's really confused. And he goes, it's an official blessing of your legal binding marriage by the head priestess of Dune's temple. And she's like, to Zayden? And she's like, oh my God, we're married? She goes, I think the note on the outside is meant for you. And he hands it to her and it says, don't look for me. It's yours now. Excuse the fuck out of me, sir.
Yeah, what?
What? So then she's been missing for 12 hours. And I thought I had more pages to go, and I was really flipping through. And all of a sudden she goes, what did you do? Because she looks towards Imogen, and Imogen's like, fuck, what you asked me to.
Yeah.
But hold on. Recent hours or like recent memories. So what kind of recent memories are we talking about? Are we talking about like last few hours or like the last couple of days? Because I wonder if Sloane actually like siphoned some of like Dane's power again, or even like helped or like held on to some of that power, because she made a comment, why do you have this much power? So like, what did she like hold on to some of that power, or did she use him to strengthen Imogen's like power to get rid of even more fucking memories?
I don't
All
know.
I know
It
is,
seems like she just literally woke up and didn't realize any time had passed. So like the past 12 hours are just gone.
and that's it.
And that's
Imogen
it.
goes,
That's the end.
what you asked me to, because she goes, what did you do? What you asked me to. And that's the end of the book.
What the fucking fuck? Rebecca!
I know. Listen, I am not a fan of that. I only because you let me go on my little soapbox and then I'll let you have the floor. I'm so sorry. But basically, I don't like that. I don't care that Rebecca Yarros said that she's not a fan of like pregnancy tropes. I don't care. People still are not fans of that and they still use it because it works. It fits in the story. I don't care. You don't have to be a fan of it. If it works, you're going to use it. I feel like her being fucking married to Zayden, we're going to have a fucking pregnancy in the next fucking book. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I have a son. I have an heir. Okay, we got to go find it. And then it's just going to be one big, huge thing to bring him back so that he can have a little fucking child and so that Zayden Jr. can have a daddy. That's what I think. If I end a book on you fucking being married, I immediately think, all right, pregnant. She's gonna be pregnant.
That would be really unfortunate if that's what happens because, like, I hate that idea and that.
Someone was like, I will DNF this book, this series, if that's the case. And I was like, I will not DNF. I will not be happy. Because to me, that's like, listen, sometimes when I don't want to buy a book and I want like a quick story that's like kind of shitty, it's kind of like Webtoon in a way, but like Webtoon's got some real good stories. I would
Yeah.
like, I download like a free app or whatever that has like what vampires, werewolves. It's basically crawling with those stories.
Yeah.
That is every single fucking werewolf story out there.
Yep. Yeah. It really is.
And that's all I can
Um,
think of. That's all I think. That's all it is. And it really just
I
pisses me off. Like we
I
have so
don't
many
think that's where she's gonna go.
I don't
I
think that's
don't
where
think
she's
it
gonna go
is.
either. But like that's how I'm feeling, and I think that's why I'm so pissed off about it. I don't like this story or this ending. The story and ending have left me more questions than answers. And it's not
That's
like
what she does,
questions,
though. That's what she does.
but it's not, here's the thing though. It's not like questions of like, oh my god, I have to know what happens next. This is such a cliffhanger. I have to know. This is a what the fuck were you thinking moment. And what the hell? Why is this a thing? Is the story selling? Yes. Does it matter? No. Does my opinion matter? Absolutely not. But what the fuck?
I don't know. I kind of like it because I feel like
Fuck
it's
you.
going to be one of those things where we find out like they had some like grand plan and the only way for it to work was for Violet to not know about it, but it was Violet's plan. And so this is what's happening. I feel like that's what's going to happen, but we'll find out.
Well, not only that, but there's 4 fucking missing riders. Okay, well, we know exactly that Garrick is missing because he, well, actually, we don't know if Garrick's missing.
We don't know who it is, who they are.
Well, don't we?
I mean, probably, but they didn't really like
Okay, so
say.
like it's confirmed that Zayden's missing, and obviously Panchik is missing because nobody knows what happened to him except for Zayden, and of course they're gonna be fucking alive, whatever, great. But oh fuck, I could have swore that I read someplace that like Garrick was one of them that was missing.
It would make sense if it was Garrick, Bodhi, Zayden, and Panchik.
Yeah, because I was like,
Because
oh
why else does
well,
Violet need to lead if Bodhi's there?
exactly, exactly. Why does it have to be Violet? Why do I have?
Did you bruise
That's
yourself
a
and forget about it?
no, that's a bruise slash bug bite.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing. Why Zayden or not Zayden? Why Violet if Bodhi's there? I think Bodhi is one of the missing people.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't think
Garrick
Bodhi's
is.
there.
I think Bodhi might not have channeled. I think he's there as like a liaison between the two. I think Garrick channeled because he said, I can't go to Arisha. If I do it one more time, I'll burn myself out. He probably channeled, took Zayden and all the other fucking people, and whooshed out of there. Panchik's obviously there somewhere missing. I don't fucking know. I don't really give a shit. But the fact that she doesn't feel Zayden means that Sigale snapped the mating bond out of it so that they could be apart. And I was like, no wonder he's got to fucking recover. He doesn't have a mate anymore.
Yeah, that would be rough.
So not only is all of that bullshit happening, you know what the next love story is in the next like theory? Dane and Sloane.
Ew.
They're yeah.
I mean, I can deal with that. I don't love it.
I also think they're the balance. I think Violet's gonna go down some pretty dark paths.
Yeah.
I just looked out the window and I was like, who the fuck is that? It's Will. I think Violet's gonna go down some pretty dark paths. And that is going to mean that she not necessarily is going to channel, but she's going to go to like the brink of channeling. Like she's going to go so deep because Zayden's gone. We're going to have to deal with Taryn and the fact that Sigale is also gone. Where the fuck has Indarna been? Is she going to be here long term?
Right. Is she here?
Knows?
Is she gone? We don't know.
Well, Yeah, and so I think they're also I also think that Dane and Sloane are like the balance. So like we had Xaden and Violet, and now we have a balancing couple.
Maybe.
Also, another theory. What if Liam, not saying it was a dream, what if Liam was actually there? What if she was so, like, what if her dream walking is so powerful that when she is on the brink of death, she is there? She is essentially dreaming. What if what if she's like crossing realms and
I
she
don't hate that.
actually met Liam on the brink of death?
And that's
And
how we're
Liam
going to
was
bring Asher
there.
back into the story.
Oh, that is so good. Oh. And Lilith.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And also Granny Daxton is going to be that. I almost called him Daxter. Daxton's got to come back because you can't just place a key character and then all of a sudden just be like, all right, bye.
Right. Well, and like, because then we could even like get to a point where we talking to the first six?
Yo!
There's a lot
Yeah!
of options there that could
Well,
take
and I
it all
feel like
kinds of places.
Dreamwalking, no offense to like anyone who thinks that's a cool signet or a cool power. I think it's cool in its own way, but like, bitch, what are you gonna do in this kind of realm?
Yeah, unless she can affect like what's actually happening, like if she could actually kill someone in their dreams or
Yeah.
something like that. But
Well, and what if the reason why she got the Dreamwalker power is because Berwyn is a Dreamwalker,
oh, I don't know.
and like she's the balance to Berwyn?
I feel like it's gonna be how she finds Zayden, or it's gonna have something to do with
Like how
their
they.
plan.
I also think she's gonna focus more on that and less on the Not that the threat's gone, but it's less now.
Right, Theophany's gone, so
So her direct threat is gone. But
yeah.
I also feel like she's going to spend more time on focusing her dream walking rather than her lightning wielding so that she can find Zayden. And I
Another
mean,
question. So Zayden just turned Venom not too long ago, right? And within a couple of months, there's a new shadow wielder. Theophany has been Venom for a long time, and there was a storm wielder to balance her. But Mama Sorrengail's been dead for a hot minute. Is there another storm wielder?
she's actually only been dead for a couple of months.
She's been dead as long as Zayden's been a Venom, though. So who's the new balance? Or is that just a plot hole that I found?
Hmm. What if the plot, not the plot hole, but maybe what if the loophole is because she's lightning?
Maybe.
You can't have, well, I mean, you can have it, but like, what if there's only one lightning, or not lightning? Maybe there's no lightning wielder, and maybe it was the storm wielder. So then, when Mama Sorrengail died, the power essentially kind of went to her.
Maybe.
I mean, that's not necessarily when her second signet popped up, but that's when her signet became more powerful.
That's fair.
We don't know because technically her powerful signet, like the dreamwalking kind of thing, could have been when she was getting tortured by Varys
Yeah.
when Liam came around. But that
She's
would be so
definitely had
cool.
it for longer than, like, she's had it for a long time.
Yeah. I think it's also, I do like the idea that not necessarily that she is like a dream walker, but like a not a realm walker either, but like they're saying like, yeah, I'll meet you at Malik's side. Like they believe that there are possibilities, that there are afterlives, there are
Yeah,
others. So there could be a realm.
it could
I'm not
be.
saying like she's gonna go to that realm, but like there could be like an afterlife. Like maybe she's a psychic, a medium. Medium. That's the word. Medium.
I don't know. That's a lot to think about.
I'm just really annoyed about the ending.
I know you are.
I just like, why would you leave it like that?
I don't
That's
know.
more of an annoying cliffhanger than it is like a damn, I wish I had the next book cliffhanger. Because like that's the kind of cliffhanger that you don't need a second book. You don't need another one.
Yes, I do.
That could well yeah, we do, but like that's the kind of ending that you know how some fucking authors like piss okay.
They just end it without actually tying up all the loose ends. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
because they
piss
want to
me
leave it up
off.
to the reader's like
Absolutely
imagination.
fucking not.
Listen, I will make up the most extravagant fucking ending to meet them like what I want. But I'm not satisfied with that because that's
Yeah,
not what the author wanted.
that
And I
pisses me
want
off.
the rest of what the author wanted. So like that would piss me off if like she's like, okay, there's your ending. They're married. Yay, happy go lucky. She's pregnant. Maybe,
That
I don't know. You don't know. There's not a second book. Like that's the bullshit I don't like. And that's what I got from this. I felt like there was going to be no more books. It was
no.
left to interpretation.
Thankfully, we know that there are going to be more books because that would piss me off.
Yeah. Speaking of other books, we don't know when these books are going to come out,
We do
but
not.
ACOTAR book, what, 6? 5? No, 6
6.
gets announced May 6th.
Ooh, that's like next week.
It is. Because we are recording the night this goes live because we are slackers. Yay!
Listen, life
Yay.
is lifing, okay?
The government's lifing for us right now, and
Yeah.
it's kind of down in the dumps.
Listen,
So,
side quest. I had a doctor's appointment to follow up about one of my medications because it was giving me really bad side effects. And they do like a depression and anxiety
I was
screener.
going to say, did you score a 10 out of 10?
Tell me why behavioral health called me today to check in and do a follow up screener. I was like, well, damn.
They're like, all right, this bitch suicidal. We got to call her.
Yeah, honestly. And they gave me like the national hotline and the Indiana hotline. And I was like,
Oh,
guys,
girl, you better be getting the Canadian hotline soon.
I just said that sometimes I think it would be easier to be dead. I didn't say I wanted to be dead. It would just be easier. And then I said that to Brittany and she was like, that's not a normal thought process. And then I was like, great. They're going to come
That's
get
what they
me.
tell me they're like, are you sad sometimes? And I'm like, yeah. How often? I don't know. Depends on the week.
Right. Like most of the time.
And they're like, but what happens during the week? I don't know. It really just kind of hits you.
yeah. Like I'm just sad. What the fuck do you mean? What happened?
And they're like, well, do you
Life.
think you'd be better without like being around? Fuck yeah. Then I would have to deal with it.
Thank you. Thank you. Apparently that's not normal.
I know when they told me, they're like, yeah, by the way, you scored pretty high on this. That's not normal. And I was like, I didn't ace the test.
They're like,
What do
you
you
don't
mean I
want
didn't
to
ace
ace
it?
this test.
You want to fail this test? I aced it superbly. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
I'm going to walk home and say that.
It's like golf. You want the lower score.
And uh, I am a burnt out perfection child, okay?
Yes.
I was a gifted student as a child growing up, so I go for fucking gold, bitches. I go for 10 out of 10.
Well, yeah,
Ace the
because if I
fucking
didn't get
test.
10 out of 10, then I was in fucking trouble.
I wasn't in trouble. I just
Oh, I
was. I wasn't like grounded or anything. It was just like you could do better than that. You know
I was
it. And then I
grounded.
was
If
like,
I got a C, B's were like pushing it. But if I got a C,
Mm.
grounded, in fucking trouble. I better do better next time. Why did I get a C?
Mm. You know, after my brief stint of like shitty grades in grade school, and like consistent struggling one year, my parents probably should have put me into some type of like help. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, life.
But yeah. So anyways,
Yeah, that is
fuck the
the
sending. We'll see you
finale
next time.
of Onyx Storm.
Yeah, fuck the sending. We'll see you next time. And until next time.
Bye.